Campbell Hausfeld wants to help make it easier for you to get professional results on your home improvement projects. Today we're going to show you how to install hardwood flooring using a flooring nailer. Hardwood flooring can make a lasting impression and truly enhance the beauty of your home. This video will show you how to install solid tongue and groove flooring. Here are the materials and tools you will need to get started. This video is intended to help you install your flooring with an air-powered flooring nailer. You may receive additional installation instructions from the flooring manufacturer. Be sure to consult all directions provided when installing hardwood flooring. Place your new flooring in an environment where it will be installed for a few days prior to actual installation. Since wood expands and contracts with the level of humidity, it's important to let the flooring acclimate to its new environment. Make sure that any plastering and painting have been completed since they can add moisture to the air. Make sure the subfloor is level and in good shape before installing your new flooring. Note, the subfloor should be wood, not concrete when using a flooring nailer. Check to see that you have the correct shoe plate installed on your flooring nailer. Removing the baseboards allows you to gain a seamless professional look because the flooring can be installed closer to your walls. You can also achieve professional results by slipping the flooring under the doors in the door trim. In order to do this, you may want to saw off the bottoms of the doors using a hand-tooth saw. In our case, the baseboards cannot be removed. Deciding the direction of flooring is an aesthetic and structural decision. Typically, it looks best if the flooring runs the length of the room. Structurally, it helps if the flooring runs perpendicular to the floor joists. If you want to achieve professional results, it is important to place a vapor barrier such as resin paper or foam backing between the subfloor and finished floor. This helps control dust and moisture as well as dampen squeaks. Roll it over the floor completely and secure it with staples. Before you can start laying the first few boards, you must determine where it is best to start in your room. You may want to start in the center of the room. In this case, you need to start with a spline board, which can be purchased through your flooring manufacturer. Another option is to start on one side of the room. If you choose this method, start on the wall that has the door opening, which visually will look better. Establishing a perimeter and baseline is a crucial step to ensure your flooring will look straight and stable. You must leave a gap around the perimeter of your room. If you do not leave this gap, your flooring will buckle because it does not have room to contract and expand. Leave a 1/2 inch gap when installing solid hardwood flooring, flooring that is solid wood throughout. Leave a 1/4 inch gap when installing engineered hardwood flooring, flooring that has a hardwood surface with a plywood middle. If you want your floor to run straight, not crooked, you must establish a baseline. Since all walls are not a perfect 90 degrees, it helps to establish the baseline parallel to the direction you are going to lay the floor. This ensures a straight starting point for your first row of boards. If you are installing your flooring starting from the center of the room, find the center point between the two walls at each end of the room and snap a chalk line between the 2 points. This is your baseline. Be sure to lay your flooring parallel to the baseline. If you are laying your floor starting at a wall, be sure to establish a baseline that leaves a 1/2 inch gap between the board and your wall. If you do not do this step, the boards will buckle as they expand and contract. If you are starting at a wall, follow the same steps from starting in the center of the room. Then measure out from the center baseline equal distances to your wall baseline. Be sure to establish a baseline that leaves a 1/2 inch gap between the board and your wall. When laying the first row against the wall, follow this simple formula to determine where to create your baseline. 1. Measure the width of your board including the width of the tongue. 2. Determine if you need a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch gap depending on the type of flooring you are laying. Width of the board plus gap equals distance to make your baseline from your starting wall. Example, board width equals 2 1/2 inches. Gap equals 1/2 inch. 2 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 3 inches. Then measure 3 inches off your wall on each end of the room. Make a chalk line, which is the baseline. Then match up the front of your flooring to this line. The flooring nailer cannot be used on your first few rows. Instead, you must face nail your boards, which means you nail your boards on their top, not inside the groove. We recommend using an air-powered finish nailer to face nail since it is the quickest and easiest way to nail. The finish nailer is a wise investment because the powerful tool will fit in tight areas where the flooring nailer cannot. Campbell Hausfeld offers a finish nailer for flooring and other home improvement projects. You can use a finish nailer to install crown molding, chair rail, and other decorative moldings in your home. If you do not have an air-powered finish nailer, you must tediously drill small pilot holes and manually drive your nails through these holes. You must then use a center punch to sink the nails below the wood surface. Whether you use an air-powered nailer or the manual method, you must make sure to precisely align your first board on the baseline. To correctly install hardwood flooring, it must be properly racked before being nailed into place. After placing the first board, follow these instructions to rack the flooring. Place the flooring groove onto the tongue of the previously installed board. Use the rubber end of the mallet to pop the tongue into the groove. Use the metal end of the mallet to rack the board tightly against the adjacent board, being careful not to dent or scuff the board's surface. Once you have your first row of boards in place, you are ready to use your Campbell Hausfeld Flooring Nailer to nail it down. Follow these steps to start using your flooring nailer. Make sure the rubber bumper on the flooring nailer is in the up position before adding the air hose. If it's not up, the nailer may cycle. Load fasteners. See the setup section of this DVD for details. Connect the air hose to the nailer. Place the tool on the floor with the shoe plate resting on the racked floorboard. Make sure the fastener ejection nozzle is firmly placed against the board tongue. Strike the rubber bumper firmly with the rubber end of the mallet. The tool should cycle and drive the fastener into the floorboard. We recommend placing nails every 10 to 12 inches. You want to make sure to find the correct fastener depth placement in order not to damage the floorboard. Damage to the tongue upon installation will make the remaining project difficult. The last few rows are placed similarly to the first few boards. You will need to face nail them either manually or with a finish nailer. To ensure a tight fit on the last board, use a pry bar between the wall and the board to get a snug fit. Reinstall baseboards after all of your flooring is laid down. You may want to install shoe molding or cord-around to cover gaps. You can use a scrap piece of flooring to help get flooring into place if needed. To cut around corners, try using a jigsaw or coping saw to create detailed cuts. Use a pry bar to ensure a snug fit against the wall. Unfinished floors should be sanded and then stained. Thank you for purchasing a Campbell Hausfeld tool. We hope this video is helpful as you start your project. You can also visit us at chpower.com.